So in the big scheme of Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro making money, they no longer need the local game stores. They've even pulled back from the Judge Academy. You know why? They don't need it. They don't need to spend $1 outside of direct sales. So now, there used to be, let's talk about the secondary market. What is the secondary market? You've got local game stores selling.
Welcome to the Always Choose Violence podcast, the only podcast where battles are our business
and magic is our mantra.
I'm Navigator.
And I'm JJ.
Dive deep with us into the pioneer format of Magic the Gathering,
while we unravel the tactics of the game and the philosophy of always coming out swinging.
So whether you're a seasoned planeswalker
or just curious about the realm, ready your deck and let's get started.
For in every game,
every challenge,
every lesson,
we
always choose violence. That was the best one yet. All right, guys. Welcome to the next episode of Always Choose Violence. And today we are going to go over a few different things. Yeah. First of which, JJ is going to moan and gripe. I was going to say a different word. Moan and gripe about some news here in MTG. We're going to go over some of the new and upcoming things that happened in the meta.
Yeah.
And then we are also going to play our very own Mulligan game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you totally forgot what today was all about.
I love that idea. We're going to actually deal out hands and talk through the mulligans. I think that's a great way to learn.
Yeah, because learning how to mulligan effectively, I think, is one of the most important things when you're trying to level up your game of Magic. And that's something that we're still trying to perfect ourselves, you know? Yeah. It's a different thing between saying you can do it or you should do it and actually doing it in the game. Because, that Timmy part of us tends to come out and be like, this is a terrible one-land hand, but I'm going to keep it anyway. Yeah. So we're going to go through a bunch of different matchups, and we're each going to draw a fresh hand to 7 as if it were a game 1, and then talk about whether or not we keep.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
So you want to start with MTG news?
Okay. So longtime Magic the Gathering dealer, Troll and Toad, which you've probably heard about by now. It's been reviewed by several content creators. They've been selling Magic the Gathering cards since almost the inception of Magic for like close to 30 years, 25 to 30 years.
Wow.
They decided to shift away from Magic the Gathering products because Ben Burns, the owner, said that it was just a business decision. It wasn't as profitable as he needed it to be to maintain it, and there are other areas where he could garner some profit. And he also was threatened by the reprinting of valuable cards, which, if you've looked at the latest sets, there's some, for us, it's great. We love when they reprint some awesome cards, but for collectors or for dealers, they live kind of on the razor's edge, right? They have to cut a profit off of every single product. And with direct sales from Amazon, everything's been cutting into their profit margin. So Navigator's been going to give me the floor for a little bit so I can complain. He's going to react to my complaints. I've been in the game since Battle for Zendikar in that region. So not an OG player, but an older player.
Does that mean every card that you've played with, more or less, now is Pioneer legal?
Yeah.
Was the Pioneer format made for you?
It was mine. Yeah. Well, if you played, like, back then, it was, I was playing Standard all the time, and that was the entryway to all the other formats, right? It had to go through Standard. There was no Pioneer. To get to Modern, you went through Standard. So everything was kind of churned through Standard. So they had to regulate the power of things. And but I'll talk about that a little bit more, because I think a lot of this has to do with the strategy that Hasbro leaned on Wizards of the Coast, right? And Wizards of the Coast answered the mail. They're like, okay, Hasbro's like, you're going to be our first $1 billion company. Mm-hmm. Wizards of the Coast says, all right, let's do this. Well, they needed to figure out how to get those profit margins up.
But hold on a second.
Yeah.
Isn't this whole thing, this going in argument that you're devaluing some of my most valuable cards by reprinting it, uh, a win for consumers? You know, the professor says it: reprints, reprints, reprints. Right? We want fetch lands. We want Ristic studies.
Yes.
You know, isn't that good for us?
Well, good for the players.
Yeah.
But if you are a business that deals in the secondary market of Magic the Gathering, which that's every LGS, I mean, I know just a few that do not sell singles. They just sell box product. And it's still, with the box sealed product, it's hard for them to make a profit off of it because they're competing with Wizards of the Coast selling directly from Amazon. Like, how often do you walk into an LGS and buy a box? Not as often as you want, right?
Because they rip you off at their price.
Yeah, because they
have to in order to make their margin. Look, but look, this, before you go into the big corporate badness, conspiracy of Wizards and trying to disenfranchise our LGSs, we have to acknowledge that the formats as they stand right now, where Magic the Gathering is a game and we are consumers of the game, correct, the formats are healthy.
Well, let's say Pioneer is healthy.
Sure, specifically Pioneer. But we're looking where the litmus test is the ban list. All right, the cards they're inserting with every new set is maintaining the balance to a point. Some products that they've been putting out revive fan favorites. Like, now you have Lord of the Rings fans, which arguably is the next biggest fantasy connoisseurs to Magic players, right? You have this whole enfranchised group that is now able to play Frodo Baggins in a Pro Tour, right? In a modern legal deck.
Against
Sauron or whatever. Right. All right. And you look at the ban list, again, where that's the litmus test of the health of the format, you know, where we're a Pioneer podcast, specifically Pioneer, no bans. So that tells me as a player.
In the last banning.
In the last two bannings.
Yeah.
The last two bannings. You know, there have been camps around cards and decks, but as we'll see in the meta breakdown, as we've covered in episode 1 and 2 of our meta analysis, the format shifts and is shifting constantly with no bans added, no artificial modifications.
Let's talk about that. That's a little bit of a smokescreen, I think.
All right. Hot take.
If you name a mega powerful card in Pioneer, like one that is, the price is just woo, like ones that you might mock me for that you bought before me or something like
Shieldred. A lot of them. Shieldreds,
like, let's talk
Wandering
about
Emperors.
Let's talk about like Shieldred. Now Shieldred got extended in Standard. Stay in Standard is now longer. So there is no corporate motivation to ban that card.
Nope.
None at all.
Oh, shoot.
Zero. So it's like saying, hey, you know, the zookeeper fed us every day. and nobody is dying. Nobody's starving to death. It's
but take that one step further. Where is the markup in price happening? Is it happening from Wizards to the LGS or the LGS to the consumer?
Okay. It is my belief that Wizards of the Coast is phasing out the local game stores.
Hold on a sec.
So, yeah, take a long swig of that truth bomb. Here's what they said. Okay. Here, let me make sure I'm quoting correctly. Okay. So, let me quote you for real here. All right. So 3 years. So in 2018, Hasbro says that they're going to increase their profits by 50% over the next 3 years.
Hasbro says this.
Yeah. In that same report, they also said that they're going to move more to a digital environment.
So Arena.
And Amazon sells. So in the big scheme of Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro making money, they no longer need the local game stores. They've even pulled back from the Judge Academy. You know why? They don't need it. They don't need to spend $1 outside of direct sales.
So
now, there used to be. Let's talk about the secondary market. What is the secondary market? You've got local game stores selling singles. You've got digital ones like TCG Player and eBay. Local people just selling singles. But you've also got a secondary market of things like altered art cards. So artists will commission and sell these, or they used to a lot more. And then all of a sudden, you see all these inroads into the secondary market from Wizards of the Coast, like Secret Lair. Secret Lair is selling singles with special art.
Yeah.
Singles. So it's a direct shot at the secondary market. They're going to grab all of that money that they can. And I can't blame them.
Right.
They can produce all they want. We will buy. We're like the crackheads.
And we do buy.
Yeah, we'll buy it all. Like, I just finished sleeving up friggin' Wilds of Eldraine Commander cards.
And when was the last time we played a game of Commander?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I have 4 suitcases of Commander precons that I'm dying to play, and I want to play, and I'll buy all their products. Whenever a new card comes out for Pioneer, I'm on top of it in the secondary market. But the only thing they haven't been able to crack is the entire secondary market. But they're trying to get inroads into it.
So let's kind of rewind a little bit and approach this from a different angle. So I get it. They are going, instead of B2B business, right, which it was before, Wizards to a wholesaler to an LGS, B2B to B, right? They're cutting out a couple of those B's,
right,
and they're going B to C, right, in order to increase their bottom line, right? A couple things. Wizard makes more money. Wizards of the Coast makes more money. That equals more Magic the Gathering.
Right.
Okay. 2, a way for Wizards of the Coast, because they are not in the secondary market. They can't reap the to them to print a Shieldred today costs as much as it did, and with as much frequency as they did, with the original printing of the set.
Yeah, how much is Shieldred today?
Like $70-something.
Yeah, $70-$80. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive. They don't reap that benefit.
What if you were at a local game store and you bought 20 Shieldreds?
And I would be
for $60
I would be
each.
that meme of the dude just taking a nap on a pile of cash, right? Like
like today. Like, say you're at a local game store and someone walks in with 20 Shieldreds and they say $60 each. You're like, cool, I can make a profit. I can turn a good profit.
You flip them for 70-something, 80-something.
Or Wizards reprints them in the next set. Or
they devalue.
And they just drop to the floor.
Right. And that's a bad thing for the LGS. But again, is that inherently a bad thing? Like, why don't you play Legacy?
I'm building a Legacy.
No. Why don't you play?
Because it's cost expensive.
Because
it's super expensive.
The cost of entry.
Yeah.
Right? The cost of entry to the player prevents you from enjoying a format of the game.
I have it scheduled in 10 years. I'll have my deck together.
Right? Exactly. But that's a double-edged sword, that train of thought, right?
Where does the health of the market lie? Does it lie with the secondary market or the primary market? I think Bank of America, when they wrote that article about, I believe it was earlier this year, Bank of America comes out with an article that says Wizards of the Coast is overprinting product, or they're saturating the market and it's destroying the secondary market. And they say in there, one of their quotes is that healthy secondary market is equal to a healthy primary market. And that makes good sense. Like, let's go back to the 90s where, Marvel comic books. So Marvel comic books, it's the same kind of situation. There's a collectors, group of collectors, and then there's book readers. So when Marvel shifted to a higher, and DC as well, they started overprinting their comic books. Even Image did it for a while. Just overprinted them. So they devalued them immensely. And it just oversaturating the market. You get a temporary rise in your stocks.
But that's a bubble.
It's a bubble. And you can see it now. You can see it. So at the beginning of this, like in 2014, 2015, when I forget which box came out that had reprints in it of like it was I believe it was Eternal Masters.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like they had like a reprint set, which was great, but you saw the profit margins on those just jump, and they kept mashing that button over and over again, and then they committed to this increasing the stock value, and you can see it, but now the stock's coming back down. They've oversaturated the market, and it's coming back down to where it was back in 2014. It's just diving back. It's slowly gliding back down there because. So where do you invest your money? Like, where do you put your money in Magic? Because I used to buy a little bit of Arena. I used to buy a little bit of Arena. I would buy some sealed product. I would buy some singles. I would go to LGS and I'd play the pre-releases, get those pre-release stuff, and I would hit every single thing I could, and it was doable. But now I have to choose: do I buy the 4 pre-con commander decks coming out in addition to the 5 different sets coming, 6 different sets coming out?
Universes Beyond Masters, whatever.
Do I buy
Warhammer 40K? That's just the entire set.
And each thing has increased in price. The packs, the fat packs.
But it has increased in price to you, the consumer. So therein lies the problem, and this I think is a double-edged thing. Whereas, on one hand, the health of the secondary market as it stands right now, where the secondary market is the LGS, is seminal to the longevity of Magic. Now, have you ever read Malcolm Gladwell? Do you ever read The Infinite Game? Okay, so Malcolm Gladwell talks about infinite games versus finite games. Infinite games, the goal, the objective is to keep playing the game. Life is an infinite game. Your goal in life is to keep playing the game of life until one day you die, right? And most of the time you don't have a say in when that is, right? A finite game is, a very bounded activity with objectives, like a board game. A game of Magic is a finite game. You have 20 life points. I have 20 life points. We play until one of us is at 0, right? That's a finite game. Wizards of the Coast, as a business, is engaged in an infinite game. All right. And that's how they should predicate all of their decisions. Now, right now, the health of the secondary market, we consider that to be a LGS, right? Now, there are other elements to the secondary market. There are private sellers. There are big name online sellers. You mentioned TCG Player, which is a conglomerate of LGSs. But why is the health of the LGS, seminal to Magic's longevity?
I don't think it is.
I think it is because the playing of paper Magic, the experience of the consumer, is vital to Wizards' longevity. Without the experience of the consumer, without me being able to go on Wednesday nights, play Wednesday Night Pioneer, or Draft Night, or FNMs around the country and around the world, I wouldn't be as enthralled.
That's true.
By Magic.
You have gone around the world playing random LGS.
Yes, I have not by any means paid to do so, but I have played Magic around the world. Yeah, I'm going to Japan next week. Did I tell you?
Oh no, you're going to Japan?
I'm going to Japan.
Nice. Where in Japan?
Yoko.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe you already scoped out the
Not yet. That's on my to-do list tonight.
You're in for a different world, man.
I know. I'm going to pick up some alternate art cards from an LGS. right.
Well, that is a great question. Does the health of Magic the Gathering depend on local game stores?
You say it doesn't.
Well,
defend yourself.
I want to say it does. I want to.
But I'm an idealist. I'm fighting for the good things in this world.
But I feel like Wizards of the Coast has figured out a way, Hasbro has figured out a way to not rely on that model anymore. Like they've
gotten away from Grand Prix and Pro Tours for 2 years.
Yeah, so let's go back in the way back machine, because so there was a point where video games were going to be, or esports they were going to approach being in the Olympics. Like there was an argument for it,
Yeah.
which that was our only chance.
I'm for it. I'm still for it. I didn't know that camp existed. I want to know who the leaders are, and we'll organize
Did you
next
see that
group.
kid carrying a torch?
Out of breath, glasses on.
So Wizards of the Coast poured it on. Hasbro poured it on because they weren't going to be left out of that, right?
No.
But then that went away. That no longer worked. So what they have left, they like this whole infrastructure that they had put together with. They had different pools of content creators who had been selected to be the professional Magic the Gathering players, the Magic leagues and stuff, and they were paid by Wizards of the Coast to play Magic the Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
That just was like, nope, they just went away. Next thing that happened is there's this whole argument about the reserve list. So the reserve list is a promise from Wizards of the Coast that they will not reprint certain cards, so they'll maintain their value. But how do you get cards into those older, powerful formats without reprinting them? You start printing stuff that's ridiculously powerful, like Uros and there's so many of them that made it through like standard and all the other formats to get to those older legacy formats and stuff. And you'll see that there's a large portion of those decks that are newer cards. So they, instead of reprinting reserve list cards, they're reprinting better cards into those. So they're making these cards chase cards for those older formats. And I think they view every single format as a new market for them.
Yeah.
That they can just print directly into,
as they should.
Buy. Yeah.
Because I will.
We'll buy them all.
Yeah. Look. I don't disagree with you, but at the end of the day, if the profit margin isn't there for the LGS and the LGS isn't healthy enough with Magic the Gathering specifically, they're going to stop hosting paper Magic events. Right? Like,
and then we'll be stuck in some weird man cave playing
Magic on our own. Like the times of old. Like the Fallout story. All of the outer world is desolate and uninhabitable. But we're here isolated in the man cave playing paper Magic because this is the Fortress of Solitude of sorts. The last hold. But like our closest game store here, Tabletop Tavern, Holla at Tabletop Tavern.
Although they made me lose that loss.
Yeah,
it was a sad loss.
You were playing Mono White Humans.
I was cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
I took a loss for not taking my sideboard cards out, which is
why
move.
we're always trying to improve.
Shame.
But yeah, so I mean, we see them now doing more One Piece nights, doing more Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, doing more Pokemon tournaments. Why? I think because from their point of view, I mean, I was just at a Best Buy, right? And on my way to check out, they had 3 different TCG options for me. I could grab a set booster pack, a singular set booster pack of Commander Masters MTG. I could buy
at Best Buy.
I could buy a box of Pokemon, like Trainer Silver box. I don't know how that comes. Or I could buy a box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. All right, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, the box of like something like 10 packs or whatever was $50. All right, the box of Pokemon cards, like Silver Edition, looked bougie. I don't know much about Pokemon, but it looked cool. It was great packaging.
You thought about buying it.
I thought about it just because it looked great. Had like Eevee on it. Anyway, it was like $42. All right, a single set booster pack for Commander Masters at Best Buy today was $18. If you were a kid on a $2 a week allowance and you've saved a long time, which one of those would you pick? Not the Magic cards, not the 15 cards you'll get in that pack for $18, right? That's why our LGSs are doing more of those tournaments, in my opinion. So here's another hot take. So
Maybe it's generational. Like maybe they're cashing in on this generation of Magic player at the forsaking the next generation.
right, but at that point in time, Hasbro via Wizards has committed to playing a finite game rather than an infinite game, and you will lose business in the infinite game of business.
That's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
And that's why I made that distinction. So here's a hot take. So this opinion comes from a video you shared with me by Rudy at Alpha Investments. Holla at Rudy. You made great. What's up, folks? He made a video about LCS, right? About the profit margins of LCS.
And some people get mad at Rudy, but I'm not mad at Rudy.
I'm not mad. And in fact, we will link that Rudy video in the show notes whenever I get around
to a generous king.
Yeah, all 5 of our viewers, if you don't know who Alpha Investments is, go check out Rudy. He's great.
If they are here at all, they know who Alpha.
Yeah. So Rudy was explaining the chain, from how do you go from Wizards to the consumer. And like I said, it's a B2B to B to C construct. And for those of you not familiar with that, like business term, just remember B is the business, the C is the consumer. So you go from a business to a business to a business, then to the consumer, right? That's B2B marketing versus B2C marketing. And the middle B there, right, between Wizards and the LGS is the distributor. Because how many LGSs get their products directly from Wizards? Almost none.
Yeah.
Almost none, unless you're ginormous for whatever reason.
Well, they still have to distribute them to the. There is a distributor always in the way.
Not always. Not always. For instance,
for LGSs.
In this current construct of Magic the Gathering. But my hot take, what I am saying is, what if we cut out distributors? What if we go Wizards of the Coast to the LGS to the consumer?
I think some Jersey boys would break some kneecaps.
Yeah, someone might come to my house. I may get some threats. I don't think we have the views for that yet. But just imagine a world where we are eliminating some of this flack, because that's what this is. What if LGSs have access to boxes of Magic cards at the wholesale price, and then the cry for an MSRP becomes a reality, and the LGS across the country is matching the same price as Amazon? Why do you buy? I buy off of Amazon sometimes over an LGS. And I hate to say that publicly, but when I'm trying to buy as much Magic cards as I can, that's what I have to do sometimes, right? And the reason I do that is because every single time when I'm buying from Wizards directly via their Amazon store, I am getting the best price available at that time.
And they can undercut the hell out.
And they can undercut everybody. Why? Because they're making a profit margin. I still don't know what it costs for them, right, to make a box of Magic cards. Not much. But I'm paying the $100, the $140, whatever. By going, for a box that says $140 on Amazon, I would go to an LGS and that's $160, $170, because these guys have to make a living. They have to pay the lease at the end of the month, right? But if that store was $140, $145 even for a $140 box on Amazon, I go to the LGS every day of the week and buy that box from the LGS. So, not that we have an audience, but that's a hot take.
But that's what I think is, Wizards doesn't need to worry about that.
They don't.
They can actually cut out LGSs altogether and just right now, in this generation of Magic the Gathering players, just soak in the profits and then apologize later whenever they realize that they ruin the secondary market and it ends up undercutting their own worth.
Okay. I'm going to play your intro song. And then we're going to go into this next part.
Let me explain. So when I was talking to Nav, I was telling him that Wizards used to romance these these local game stores, and they shifted from romancing to pimping. That's Wizards right there, or Hasbro. Yeah, they don't care. They're like, give me my money. Like, I'm not here to love you. I'm here to get my money.
And that's it. That's exactly what we were talking about. MTG as a part of Hasbro, first $1 billion brand. All right. And I think that's it. 50% profit.
I have tons of pictures and graphs and just you know what a good one to look at is only on Tuesdays27.com.
Okay.
Only on Tuesdays27.com. We'll post this in the notes as well.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic article about the 30 years of Magic product, and you can see it exploding as it gets to 2022.
And if you guys are interested in this stuff or any of the articles or anything JJ talked about, I'll link the Google Doc, I think, so you guys can view everything that we chose, and you can click on the link, see all the charts and all that.
Bless you.
Sorry, I'm allergic to capitalist bullshit.
Comrade.
It's art magic and combat.
Nice. What are we doing next? Well, I could go on.
Oh, what about the 30th anniversary stuff? I just wanted to know your opinion.
Seems good.
The 30th anniversary proxy list?
Yeah, so that's part of the violation of trust, that I call it. Is so proxies are a market, right?
Yeah.
There are people who print proxies for a living, but on top of that, those cards that they printed in the for the the $1,000 proxy Black Lotus or whatever that they were reprinting, that was a little scary. It was like they were sticking their toe in the waters of reprinting some stuff that is just against the rules to reprint. Right. Just against. It's just a. If I was this is how paranoid I am. When I had a huge Magic the Gathering online collection. Right? I showed it to you. It was like 50K cards on Magic the Gathering online. I was heavily invested in it. When I saw them come up with Explorer on Arena, the day they announced that and they said it was going to be just like Pioneer, I sold my entire collection. Since then, that collection price, I go back and check every week. I sold it for like about $2,000. The price of that collection is now like less than $800.
That's wild.
But it's like you know where I put the money though? In paper.
Paper Magic.
I bought into Pioneer.
So what? You can play where?
In game.
Well, and in tournaments. We're trying to play paper tournament Magic.
When I'm 60, I'll win.
Yeah, which actually. Great segue. So first, if you're liking what we're talking about, if you like this little MTG news section, this is the first time we've done it, just let us know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow. We're on Instagram, Twitch, we're on YouTube.
Random names.
Some variant of Always Choose Violence on all of those.
Or ACV
MTG, exactly. If you like Paper Magic, I feel like we're one of the few that streams live Paper Magic just consistently. It's not tournament coverage. It's JJ and I playing Magic, and we're watching the chat. So if you guys want to take a look at a certain decks, let us know and we'll play it for you. Yeah.
And there's some good, like, if you want to learn about Pioneer, like we enjoy other content creators as well. Like I think Doomwake is a good Pioneer. Tandy.
Holla Doomwake Tandy.
Yeah.
We'll link you guys.
Fantastic. And they examine the meta, right? And they have some very that's the hard, like, if you're looking at us, you're kind of going through the journey with us, right? We're not new to Pioneer, but we're not at the level of like Tandy. Like, he spits some fire on he has some good hot takes on cards. And he can tell, he can taste it and like, oh, this tastes like crap, and throw it away. you're going to go through the journey with us, right? We're going to play this Mulligan game here,
Yeah.
and you're going to go through the Mulligan game with us, and we're going to talk it out together.
Yeah.
So you want to get us into the
and that's the niche that we've kind of found, and that's what we want to provide to you guys. Is we realize that we're learning, and we might as well just document our journey. And that's exactly what we're doing. So the Mulligan game. So to talk about mulligans is to talk about one of the most important skill sets in competitive Magic. While we could spend a whole episode talking about the theory of hypergeometric distributions, Frank Karsten, I'm looking at you, and contextualize mulligan notes into each matchup, that's a lot of prep work. So instead, we're going to play the Mulligan game.
Yeah, so how do we play the Mulligan game?
Yeah, so we're each going to pick up some popular Pioneer matchups, and we'll deal ourselves opening hands, and we'll talk through Mulligan decisions to keep to a keepable hand. This will be based off of game one decisions, so we're operating in a relative blind to what an opponent is playing. So first up, we got Boros Convoke and Rakdos Midrange.
All right, do you need me to move the camera at all?
No, I think we just talked through it.
I don't think they'll care either way. Not like anyone's going to watch our podcast.
Yeah.
So Boros, which one are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing Rakdos Midrange.
Okay, I'll grab Boros Convoke. If I can find it.
And this is how we play. This is how we spend our Monday nights.
Spirit. That's not it. I just repackaged everything that I had because I wanted to be popular and cool with kids. Oh, remind me to play Soul Flare with you later.
Hey, play Soul Flare with me later.
I freaking Boros Convoke. Alright. It's no joke.
So I'm gonna shuffle up this Rakdos Midrange deck and we'll see what we get.
I shuffled up your mom's Rakdos Midrange deck last night.
That's gross. She's definitely more of a control. If you're listening, I love you, Mom. You're a saint.
Who was that I used to mess with? That I met. I used to say mom jokes all the time, and then I met the guy's mom, and she was a saint. She was the sweetest lady I ever met, and I had to stop. I felt so bad. All right. So you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm Rakdos Mid.
Rakdos Mid. Okay, I'm gonna deal out Boros Convoke. And hey, thank you, Spirit. Oh, Spirit Squad! Spirit Squad. Oh my God.
What's that?
Spirit Squad. That guy's for real.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, Spirit Squad, for my terrible ignorance. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut off the mom jokes now.
Okay.
Oh, check out Spirit Squad. That is a fantastic content creator. He plays the good stuff. All right. So we're doing 7.
Yep. And I will say this hand is a keep for me. So I'll tell you what I have. So I have 2 Dens of the Bugbear and 1 swap. So I'm working on 3 lands. All right. Then turn 1, I'm looking at a Duress. Turn 2, I have a Dreadbore or a Stomp available to me, which are both staples. Then turn 3, I have a Fable of the Mirror Breaker or a Bone Crusher Giant. So as far as it goes...
So you have 4 lands in there.
I have 3 lands.
3 lands.
Yeah, 2 Dens of the Bugbear.
So your turn 1 is what?
My turn one, Swamp Duress. All right, turn 2, Den, Stomp, or Dreadboard, depending on what you present to me.
Yeah.
Turn 3, let's play it out. All right, that's turn 2.
Was that a Liliana?
And yeah, that was a Liliana. And then I drew a Sulphurous Springs. So that would have enabled the reflection. The only risk with this hand is having another Den of the Bugbear. That means turn 3, because I want to turn 1 Duress. That means turn 3, that Den's going to come intact.
Right.
So, but I knew that my probability of drawing another land...
Put back the cards that you drew.
In this order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're talking about just cold.
Okay, cold. I turn 1, play a Swamp, then I Duress. All right. Turn 2, I draw.
No. We're just talking about on face value.
Okay.
Face value, you've got 3 lands.
Yep.
You got 2 Den of the Bugbears, and you've got
a swamp. Yep.
And you've got, what's this one?
This is Fable.
Oh, Fable and Mirrorbreaker. So you got turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 covered. And you have hand interaction. You have removal.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got everything.
I got everything I need. All the Rakdos stuff.
That is a keep.
All right.
So I have 3 lands, a Sacred Foundry, Inspiring Vantage, and a Pathway. And this is Boral's Convoke, by the way. I have a turn 1 Voldaran Epicure. I have a turn 2 Regal Bunny Corn, and a turn 3 Reckless Bushwhacker, and then a Knight Errant of Eos. I think this is a keep.
Why? So tell me the play, because Regal Bunnycorn is a new one.
Yeah. So I have Voldaran Epicure, which is a turn 1. That's going to put both a creature and a blood token on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. So that's card draw. Regal Bunnycorn, that'll be a 2/2 on turn 2. And then I can Knight Errant on turn 3. Basically, so 3 lands and 2 creatures. I can Knight Errant and convoke it out.
Which is exactly what you want to do turn 3.
And then I can get more cards in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn 4, I can play whatever, and then Reckless Bushwhacker and attack in for a monster amount of damage.
Which
I think that's
Boros is so
I think that's a keep. It has 0 interaction, but Boros Convoke doesn't have very much.
And your goal is to try and get the Knight Errant of Eos or whatever the other Convoke guy is out.
Yeah, and it's not the greatest, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good. And I could, if I drew into, say, another land and another land, I could still play this out with Knight Errant and Reckless Bushwhacker, maybe getting some haste in there.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good keep.
Okay, so we're lucky. Doesn't happen to you after game 1. We got 2 keeps.
We got 2 keeps, and we should play that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So next matchup we got is Rakdos Sack versus Gruul Vehicles. I got the Gruul Vehicles if you got the Sack.
Oh, Gruul Vehicles?
Yeah. Or no. Do you have the Sack? I have Gruul Vehicles.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So I'm giving myself a good shuffle. And then
you go ahead and start while
and then a 7, yeah. That's some card slapping ASMR for you. Oh no. All right, so taking a look here. Ooh.
All right, what you got?
So on this opening hand, my lands are a Stomping Ground, a Pathway, and then I have a Reckless Stormseeker, a Scavenging Ooze, a Chariot, an Embercleave, and a Lovestruck Beast. And I'm gonna mulligan this hand.
What's your justification?
Reason being, this isn't fast enough for what I need to do with Gruul Vehicles. I need to get creatures out there. So from one standpoint, I can either start attacking, start crewing vehicles, or in this case, Embercleave, right? I don't have enough creatures in hand in order to, like, I could turn 1 a token maybe, turn 2 a Scavenging Ooze, but that's a 1/1 and a 2/2. I'm not presenting you with a lot of threats.
Let me scrutinize you here. So, yeah, I mean, it all hinges on drawing that 3rd land, right?
Yeah, it does.
So, say you're on the play. That's a non-keeper. But let's talk about if you're on the draw.
On the draw, it really depends. Game 1, when you're going in blind, I would still say no, because what I'm looking for with this deck too, what gives me the advantage, the tactical advantage, is one of those elves, is that ramp. That I can do a turn 2 Reckless Stormseeker, that I can, turn 3 a Esika's Chariot and make 2 cats. Without that ramp in my hand, my ability, without knowing that I'm going to be able to explode on the board, because this is an aggro deck at its core.
Yeah.
If I can't aggro you, over the first 3 turns,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be vulnerable to your gameplay, whatever that is.
I respect that. I think that is a solid idea. And that's the example of a hand that would be hard for me
to mulligan
because it's tasty later on.
Yeah.
It's not tasty right now, but it's tasty later on.
So that maybe is a point. Like when you're mulliganing, when you are looking at your opening hand, one of the things that you have to do is recognize, with your opening hand, are you going to be able to do the thing your deck is supposed to do? With Rakdos midrange, it's hand disruption and removal until I get an insane threat on the board, right? Which I was able to do with my opening hand. For Boros Convoke, it was by turn 3 being able to bring out a creature that I'm going to have to contest with, which you could do. Yeah. So let me get a sixer out here.
Do a 6, we're gonna do
it. Yeah. Just so if anyone is following, they can complete the vehicle's train of thought here.
I'm gonna go follow Spirit Squad real quick.
I agree with that.
Spirit Squad
sounds like a cool guy. Yikes! And this is another mulligan.
All right, so walk through it.
All right, so my only land is a pathway.
Right.
I have 3 Love-Struck Beasts. Okay, 3 of these guys. I have a Bone Crusher Giant and no way to play him. That or stop. I have a Reckless Stormseeker, which is great to see in your opening hand, and then Nisika's Chariot. And I'm never going to keep a 1-lander. Yeah. I've been burned too many times. Yeah. As juicy as they may look.
Are you going to 5?
I'm going to 5. I am going to 5. And that is something you have to stomach. I'm looking... So on this hand of 5...
Are you going to cry about it?
No. On this hand of 5, what I will keep is 2 lands and an elf.
Okay.
And then whatever else. Because that will at least give me... even if you remove the elf, at least when you're starting from 5, like you are playing at a disadvantage.
Yes.
Right? So... that is what I'm looking for. So we'll get a good cut. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. All right, this is good. This is why we play this game. Oh my word.
What'd you get?
So this is a hard one.
Is that good or bad?
It's bad. It's hard. So, all right.
Well, is there a number that you... Well, is there a number that you won't go below?
In game 1, 5. In game 1, I won't go below 5.
No matter what?
No.
So when you mulligan to 5...
Unless I have no lands. Okay, so here I only have 1 land again. Stomping Ground. But I have 2 Elvish Mystics.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, then I have a Werewolf Pack Leader.
Right, for green.
And then in Nisika's Chariot or a Reckless Stormseeker.
So what goes back?
So I have to put 2 back. Honestly, at this point, I'm looking low to the ground. I'm probably going to put the 4 and 5 CMC spells, the Sky Sovereign and the Chariot on bottom. Because that'll let me turn 1 an elf. Alright, say that elf gets removed because everyone should be ready for the elf. Turn 2 another elf, hopefully a land. Pack Leader, and then into a Stormseeker.
That's the thing. Now draw a card. I just want to see what happens.
All right, draw a card. It's another Pack Leader. Draw a card. It's another elf.
No lands for
and
4 turns.
And another elf.
4 turns. 5.
An immutable. Oh,
that's
no.
Rough. All right.
It's rough.
We understand mulliganing is hard.
Yeah, but I think
you made the right choice for that one.
I think so too. Hopefully, if I'm not, tell me in the comments.
All right, so here is a great. Like, holy crap! Do I keep this? So basically, the reason this is a keep, it has 2 lands. It has 2 Witches' Ovens, 1 Cauldron Familiar, a Shieldred's Edict, and a Blood Tithe Harvester, which...
whatever.
I can play everything in my hand. It has the core of the
your engine?
The engine is there. I can turn 1 Black Cleaves Cliff into a Witch's Oven, or into a... No, you know what? I'll play the Witch's Oven. I'm not going to give him a chance to duress the Witch's Oven out of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll Cauldron Familiar turn 2.
Yeah.
And then I'll just freaking rock and roll.
That's it.
And that's that.
You roll and you rock. That's good.
I feel like you ruined our whole stream.
Yeah.
With your
we went from
lack
2
of
followers
technical
to
ability.
All right.
Only knew.
So next I
Which
have.
one am I doing next after this?
I have green. You have. Ba-bum. Oh, you know what? I changed the description on our thing when I thought I was gonna stream Arena.
Oh, I got you. We're still learning. We're terrible at Magic.
Yeah. All right, so I'm doing mono green. I don't know what you're supposed to be doing next. Eventually,
Your mom.
Nice. Got him. Got him. I love you, Mom.
I'm not a good person.
Okay. Let's see here. So mono green.
I'm actually interested to see what you think about this.
So mono green, I'm really looking for that ramp. Whatever turn 1 lets me. That gives me the edge because I have 0 interaction.
Cool. You can do chat only.
Nice.
So we can just chat.
If I'm not ramping, then I'm not mono greening.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
All right. So let's see.
What'd you say I was doing next?
You are doing whatever that thing says when we get to the right point.
We're scrolling back from the beginning.
Yeah. We screwed everything up.
We're terrible at this.
Okay.
But, people reward you for the effort, right?
Not in this world.
Our intentions are good. We're just bad at everything. I'm just going to pick a random deck. Grease Fang?
Sure.
I don't even care.
Wait, hold on. It's coming. So we're doing mono green versus scrolling.
This teleprompter scroll is
Scrolling.
fantastic.
Mono white humans.
Mono white humans, okay.
Okay, cool.
You know what? It's in my mono white box.
Alright. This is
Mom's box.
on the play a hesitant keep, on the draw a mulligan.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
So I have 2 forests. I have 1 elf. I have a Pelucranos Reborn. Then I have a Silverback Elder, a Cavalier of Thorns, and a Karn the Great Creator.
How is that not a keep on the play?
It is on the play. It's not on the draw.
Why not on the draw?
Because on the draw, if I'm playing any deck with any sort of interaction, they can turn 1 kill my elf, and then I'm screwed.
I disagree. I think that is 100% keep every single play or draw. I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
I think
because look, I turn 1 in elf. They cut down. They fatal push. They do all the popular things to kill my creature, and then what? I turn 2, hope I draw a card, a land. I play, and then let me draw. Oh, it's a Storm the Festival, right?
So I do nothing on the battlefield at that point.
Nothing.
No, you have 3, and you're playing a Pelucranos.
No. If I turn 1,
if you're here to kill, you're not here to.
If I turn 1 in elf, and they turn 1 a swamp and do a fatal push, then I'm toast.
How many lands are in that though?
A lot.
A 1 land. You're not going to keep a 1 lander. Maybe you're right.
Look. We'll dig. 2, 3.
Oh wow, it's never
4. I had to dig 4 deep for a layer of the hard
14
draw,
lands in that,
which would come in tapped. This is a mulligan. I swear
your mom
to you.
comes in tapped.
Nice.
What am I playing here? White, mono white.
Mono white.
All right, here we
go. White weenie.
All right, this better be good.
It's not.
Actually, I like getting hands that are gray area. All right, so I have plains, 2 lands. I have a 1-drop, a recruitment officer. I have 3 2-drops, Luminarch Aspirant, Thalia Guardian, and 2 Thalia Guardian of Thraben, and then a Brutal Cathar. I think this is a solid keep.
Why?
So I can play turn 1, recruitment officer. Turn 2, I can play a Thalia, which makes your removal cost 1 more. And then turn 3, Brutal Cathar removal. Whatever you drop out there. So I think, especially if against something like Racksack or Mono Green, on that turn 3, I can take
Pelucranos.
I can take that thing that you want your devotion to glom onto. I think it's a good keep.
I think so too.
Well, we agree. I feel like you and I our relationship is growing as well as our skills in Magic.
Yeah, I don't know if those are growing, but they're definitely there.
I don't know what you heard about me.
But I'm a PIM Magic player. I think next is Karuga Fires and Bring to Light.
Am I doing fires?
You have Karuga Fires. You better have Karuga Fires.
Fairly certain that I built
You said you were going to build that deck.
Oh, yeah, here it is. I found it.
Now, the question is, do you know how to play with that deck?
That's what I asked your mom.
Nice. Got him. Roasted. Roasted and toasted.
Which doesn't look like Karuga Fires. Okay, it's...
Okay.
Oh, no, yeah, this is...
All right. And to let everyone know, do you not have
it? I don't know what this is. You know, we're a Grease fan.
Okay. All right, scratch the fires. Unless you want to.
Wait,
I have
control. You may do control.
I have Yorion Fires. If you want to play Yorion, because Fires is popular right now.
I have Enigmatic Fires right here. Boom.
No, you don't. You're just
Yorion Fires.
Oh, gross. And this is the Omnath to Light version.
Oh no.
The Bring to Light.
Man, what do you think about that new, or not new, but how they're using the retraction helix decks to Bring to Light? Interesting, right?
It's interesting. I think it makes the deck more solid, right? Because you're not just really hoping you pull off the retraction helix combo.
You're just not hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, you have a little more ground to stand on. Bring to Light is just a good card.
We're gonna get more cameras, I think.
7
we
more.
can shift to cameras.
Yeah. All right. Giving myself a good cut and dealing 7.
Don't know what you heard about me.
So here, 3.
Are we done podcasting yet? Jeez.
I think this is a keep.
Okay, let's stop.
So this is a combo deck, right? So I care about getting as many different colors of lands as possible to give me the broadest number of options with Bring to Light. So I have Zeotor's Proving Ground, which is a swamp mountain forest. All right, I have an island. All right, and
Post Malone Island.
Yeah, Post Malone Island, and then I have a Sacred Peaks. So between all of these, I have Uberg. All right. Now I also have a Fable, which will give me a goblin and ideally a treasure token. But I also have a Hostage Taker and 2 Bring to Lights. So with this opening hand, I am set up to do what this deck is supposed to do. Right. Even if you disrupt me, even if you take a Bring to Light, you have to disrupt me twice, which slows your gameplay and enhances my ability to play the game.
Nice.
So I think this is a keep.
Let's see. So it doesn't have any removal. It does have the Bring to Light, which is what you want.
Yep.
That would be a hard thing not to agree with.
Yeah.
And Bring to Light is, just for those of us that don't play the Bring to Light decks, what does that do?
So it is a sorcery for 5 mana, so 3 green and a blue. Search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery card with mana value less than or equal to the number of colors spent to cast a spell. Exile that card, then shuffle. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. And they use Bring to Light for a lot of things nowadays. But for this deck, it's Omnath, Locus of Creation, really. I have a Slaughter Games.
You have Attraction in there?
I don't think I have Atraxa in this build.
Did you not afford? Were you not able to afford the foil copies of Atraxa?
No, I have Atraxa in my Fires deck. Escapes the Wilds. Selfless Glyph Weaver.
Do you have Valky in there? Because
yeah, I have
the
Valky.
cool thing about Valky is that with Bring to Light, you can find it with Bring to Light, and then play the command or the Planeswalker style.
Yeah, so I have
beautiful
Elish Norn, I have Valky, I have Selfless Glyph. So essentially, my opening hand sets me up with Wooburg to be able to bring to light any of my targets. So nice. Elish Norn, Valky, Glyph Weaver, or Omnath.
Really. Yeah, and with your Fable, you have card draw, you have more ramp with the treasure token, with the goblin.
So. Like we said in, I think it was episode 2 when we were talking about staples of the format, Fable, the Mirror Breaker. There it is. So that's a key.
All right, so I am playing the Enigmatic Fires, Yorion style. What I drew was a forest, a swamp, a fortified village, interesting. Probably a temple would be a better choice.
Did you put that in because you couldn't afford the temples?
Shut up.
We're building so many decks, guys. Give us a break.
Omen of the Sea,
yeah.
An Enigmatic Incarnation, in a Leyline Binding. This is like firmly in the gray area, right? So, Chained to the Rock, there is no mountain to enchant. So that is a useless card.
Yep.
Omen,
how much is your Leyline?
Leyline is
with your opening.
It's 4.
That's an expensive Leyline.
And Enigmatic Incarnation is really the only payoff card. I think this is a solid mulligan.
Yeah, so mulligan. See what you get. So you're going to 6.
Going to 6. I don't think this will get us there. It's just hard to mulligan that with a Leyline or a Enigmatic Fires.
Yeah,
or
right.
Enigmatic Incarnation in your hand. It's rough.
You hate to see it happen, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know how you know this is my mug because it has my name on it.
Thank you for getting these mugs for us, I think, and these awesome playmats,
which will feature in our paper play version.
We should print a few extra and give them out as gifts to Spirit Squad.
To Spirit Squad.
Spirit Squad.
Yeah. I feel like I could just get behind that. Like, just Spirit Squad as a name is amazing.
Oh, he's been in the game for a while.
Really? Yeah. So he knows what he's talking about. Not like us.
No. So much further on than we are. Okay, let's see. This is a straight up mulligan. I have 1 land.
Oh, so you're going to 5.
Going to 5. I have 2 fires.
Why is your Yorion in your... You have a Yorion main board?
Let me put that back and then... Okay, I have 2 lands.
Wait, do you have a Yorion main board? Or...
No, I don't. I just shuffled
You just shuffled in your Yorion?
Don't shuffle your companion into your deck.
Put it in a different sleeve, you chump.
But this gives us a little interesting look. So I have a Sacred Foundry and a Glacial Fortress.
Okay.
So, and then I have 2 Fires of Invention. I have a Binding of the Old Gods, a Tolsamir, and a Leyline Binding. It's interesting.
What would you do? And then I'd tell you what I do.
2 fires. I would think I would keep it, and I would put the Tolsamir back in.
I'd mulligan.
It's because you're afraid of winning.
No, I'd go to 5.
It's because your parents didn't love you when you were a child.
No. Look at our sheet. Who has a better win rate? Let me give you guys a hint. It's this guy. All right, let me tell you why. You have a mountains and a plains. That's it. You care. Because of your removal suite, you care about the Wooburgness of your lands.
What is the win condition with this hand? It is Fires of Invention.
You can't even play Fires of Invention. You have to supply.
But
You
you'll
have
never have 4
as
lands in your opening hand.
no, but as a combo deck as this is, your goal in life is to survive the first 4 turns. After turn 4, you generally have inevitability.
So on the play, would you keep?
No.
On the draw?
No.
Neither way.
Neither way.
You mean to play it out?
Yes.
All right. So I am on the play or the draw?
You're on the play.
I'm on the play. So I will play the Glacial Fortress tapped.
Okay.
And then you'll play, and I'll untap, upkeep, and draw.
Yep.
Play a Rafine's Tower tapped.
Nice.
Then I'll untap. Turn 3, upkeep, and draw.
Yep.
I'll play a Sacred Foundry tapped then I'll play a Charming Prince, enters the battlefield. I will scry 2. I have 2 lands, a Zagoth Triome, which I'll keep on top.
Yep.
And I'll put this. Ooh, do I want to put the forest?
So you unlock your fires.
Actually, I got it right here.
Yeah.
So I'll put this on the bottom.
Well, no. You want to unlock your fires, so you need a 4th land.
That'll be right here. Oh, you mean untap?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing? You living in Chumpsville?
Should I keep both lands on top?
No. Because after you get your 4th land and you get fires down, you don't care about your lands.
Okay.
Outside of just drawing them.
All right, so I will draw this land, turn 4. I'll play fires.
Okay.
Then I'll draw. I'll play this land. And then I'll Leyline binding the old gods.
Nice.
And then I'll draw.
And then you just...
An Omnath.
And then you just... In the Ender's Battlefield, you draw. You have inevitability. Okay, you were lucky with the draws.
I'm a genius with Magic.
No,
I know what.
Let us know in the comments if you would have kept that opening hand. Literally, no one will comment or say yes.
The opening hand was a Leyline binding the old gods, 2 Fires of Invention, and a Glacial Fortress and a Sacred Foundry.
Yeah, trash opening.
It was pretty trash.
That's such a bad opener.
Even though
that's such a good draw. Such good draws. But hey, that's a game of Magic.
You're on.
The last pair that we set for ourselves was Retraction Helix and Lotus Field, but I forgot to bring Lotus Field.
We're going to skip that one. I brought Lotus Field, but actually, we'll talk about Lotus. We should have an episode of Lotus Field versus Lotus Field.
Oh my gosh.
Just deal with the repercussions.
I hate Lotus Field. All right.
I love it and hate it. It is a great deck, but it is so mind-numbingly boring to play.
Listen, guys, if you have some Mulligan stories of your own, share it with us in our community. So sharpen strategies together. If today's insights into Mulliganing you feel gave you an edge or gave you a lesson that you didn't already have, please spread the word to your fellow Magic players that would enjoy our podcast.
Yeah.
We said we were going to cover tournaments, but I think we should just start playing Magic.
Let's just play Magic.
Yeah, man.
Screw this.
So until we strategize again, guys, remember that in Pioneer, having your reinforcements ready is more than wise preparation. It's the hallmark of a mastermind. Be relentless. Be ruthless.
Forge forward with foresight, and always, in every skirmish, choose violence.
Cheers. See you next time.